Alright, what's happening, YouTube? Gonna play some arena. Blue-white control, Vrooms list, or an approximation. Had to make a couple of changes because I didn't have all the cards. Um, so yeah, he had authority of the consoles, and seal aways was like a combo. I don't have any authorities, and it's an 80 card deck, so I'm kind of thinking it's probably not the best idea. And then he had brainstorms, but brainstorming an 80 card deck doesn't seem great because if we lock ourselves, it's really bad. That's what I'm thinking anyway. I might be completely wrong. So I made a couple changes. That's about all I did though. 4 Stone, 4 Memory Lapse, 2 Search for Visconta, 1 Dovin's Vetoes, 4 Narsets, 4 Absorbs, 3 Castouts, 4 Wraths, Behold, 1 Commit, 3 Doomscar, 2 Elspeth Conquers Death, 4 Teferi, 3 Shark Typhoon, 2 Dream Trawler, 1 Seagate Restoration, Blue Sun Zenith, and then a bunch of lands. 34 lands. So I took his mana base. I didn't have irrigated farmlands, and I wasn't going to spend rare cards on them, so I just used 3 Temple of Enlightenments, and in place of the 4th, I just played a 3rd Field of Ruin. I really like Field of Ruin and Blue-White. Blue-White's very soft to creature lands, so Field of Ruin is pretty good there. Everything else is basically the same. I have my 2 Blue Sun Zenith because it's an 80 card deck, and I love Blue Sun Zenith. Play it for yourself. It's amazing, trust me. Seagate Restoration as the 35th land and also a potential card draw spell. I think this card is garbage, but it's an 80 card deck, so I don't have any experience playing blue-white Yorion decks, so it's probably fine. If it's me personally, if I'm not going to play this in my 60 card decks because it's sorcery speed. If it was an instant, it would be fine, but it's a sorcery speed. I don't want like 7 mana to draw potentially what 2 to maybe 4 cards, sometimes 5. I don't think it's very good. 2 Dream Trawler. I don't like dedicated win conditions in my decks, but it's an 80 card deck, and he had 2, so we're playing 2. It's probably fine. Again, it's an 80 card deck. Shark Typhoons. I think this card sucks outside of the control mirror, but we're gonna play. He had 4. I'm playing 3 because I needed to fit the Elspeth Conquers Death, and I wanted to play a 4th Narset and a bit more removal. I'm playing the 4th 2 mana removal spell. Like I said, he had Seal Away. I don't have authority, and I think Seal Away is just worse. Like I used to play it a lot, but now there's a lot of creatures that you just need to kill on sight. And this is, in my opinion, the best option because it hits any creature and it can hit multiples of creatures. Letting your opponent draw a card doesn't really matter that much. Then we have Memory Lapse and Absorb, and then 1 Veto. He had 2 Saw It Comings. I don't like Saw It Coming because unlike the other foretell cards, you end up spending more mana on it because it's 2 to foretell and then 2 to cast. And honestly, it's just not that good. Like Behold the Multiverse is good because a 4 mana instant speed scry 2 draw 2 is still good. Doomscar is amazing because a 5 mana Wrath is acceptable in these formats, but being able to foretell this on turn 2 against an aggro deck and then have an uninteractable Wrath, you know what I'm trying to say, for 3 mana is really good. Like you can smack them for 3 or 3 mana Wrath on turn 3. So this allows you to catch up a lot. Whereas Saw It Coming is just an overpriced counterspell through and through. I like Absorb, obviously, because of life gain, and then Memory Lapse because the tempo swing is usually really good, and then just 1 Veto. I'm not playing that much counter magic in the main deck. It is more of a tap out style control. That's how I envision Yorion, anyway. So that's how I'm gonna play it. And like I said, aside from the authorities and the sealaways, this is basically his list. I just tweaked the numbers on cards, and I cut Brainstorm, but that was all. I'm even playing 81 cards because the list he had linked in the last blue-white video was 81. So that's what I'm doing. Sideboard, 2 Grafdigger's Cage, 3 Rest in Peace. These are the only cards that you have to have in your sideboard, in my opinion. So everything else is pretty flexible. 2 Vetoes, 3 Mystical Disputes, and 4 Leyline of Sanctity. Why Leyline of Sanctity, you may wonder? Because I started recording this video, and I shit you not, 2 matches in a row. One against Tainted Pack Combo, and then the other against Sultai Midrange. I got fucked over both games by Thought Distortion, and I was ready to chuck my laptop out the fucking window. That card pisses me off to no goddamn end. So we're playing 4 Leyline of Sanctities, because if I see it again, I'm gonna fucking scream. It's like, fuck Thought Distortion, fuck whoever designed the card, fuck R&D for banning Counterspell preemptively, and then fuck R&D again for not giving me any fuck you, I win cards, like every other archetype seems to have. So yeah, that's the deck. Um, it seemed pretty good. Like the 2 matches that I lost, I was winning up until I got Thought Distortion. And then I just fucking died. And there's literally no counterplay to it. So fuck that card. Yeah, alright, I made my point. Like, fuck that shit. We're gonna play, and hopefully I don't have to put up with that bullshit. Or I'll have the ley lines. So, screw them. It also fucks with the discard spells, which is nice. I think there might actually be a justifiable reason to play it in blue-white, because the list that I've been playing doesn't seem to have bad matchups. It seems pretty 50-50 to like 60-40 against some things. So having a card that just shuts off discard spells, like, why not? Like, I think that's probably discard spells and then burn spells. It actually helps to shore up some of your closer matchups. I think it might be worth playing. I will definitely be testing it going forward. All right. So yeah, I just kind of breezed through that because I'm still kind of pissed off about the Thought Distortion. So we're just gonna start playing. This hand's a keep. Mana's perfect. I can do stuff with this. Yeah, it's not like I'm not doing a lot of things early, but the things that I'm going to be doing are decent enough. And it looks like the Sultai control list that just fucked me over. That's nice. I don't know if it's the same player. I don't remember his name. I'm gonna hold memory lapse in case he has a Narset. So like, it's basically Sultai Uro. I'm gonna cycle this because they have fatal pushes. There's no reason to make a Shark token. There's no point in holding on to it. They'll just kill it on the spot. That's why I don't like Shark Typhoon. But yeah, so like, they just took Sultai Uro. Thought, shit, it still got a bunch of good cards. And then they replaced Uro, it looks like, with Pelucranos, whatever the hell he's called. Unchained or World Eater, I'm not sure which one it is. There's 2 Pelucranos. One from the original Theros, and then the new black-green one. I can't get their names straight because I don't play Pelucranos decks. But yeah, so that's what we're up against. So if I don't get punked over by Thought Distortion, it's not bad. Like, I don't mind. Game 1, I beat them pretty thoroughly. And then the Thought Distortion bullshit in Game 2 and 3, literally on turn 6, both times, just fucked me over. I don't... Well... There's a lot of land. Well, I'll keep 1 land. I do want to make land drops, but land drops aren't the be-all, end-all of this matchup. Mid-range matchups. Like, they're good. I'm going to play Castle so I can start making tokens if he doesn't do anything. I don't want to tap out. I didn't realize I was going to have to discard. I'll get rid of that. He has so many ways to blow up enchantments. I don't really want to hit anything important with a cast out anyway. So I'd rather use this if I can. Ah, fuck. I wish I had played Narset. Alright, so they're going to play that. I can't hit it with Elspeth Conquers Death. They will draw it in response to the trigger, but then I can play Narset and then they can't draw anything else and they don't have a threat. They'll immediately kill my Narset. So that's what we're going to do. He only drew 2 cards off that? What? Oh, yeah. Alright, well, that's not so bad. That's really not that big a deal. I mistook his mana. I thought he had 8. I was like, he's going to draw so many cards and have a giant thing. But he doesn't have a giant thing. Yeah, alright. Wow. Just auto... Narset's so good. She just makes people concede on the spot. Alright, now we bring in the fuck you. Fuck your discard spells, asshole. We're gonna bring these in. And I will mulligan to this because they'll just Thought Distortion me otherwise, and then I'll be really fucking pissed off. And I'll cut 1 cast out, because like I said, They just have so many ways to blow up enchantments. Maelstrom Pulse, um, that enchantment, the 4-mana enchantment that gets him a land, the Saga, Casualties of War, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's a couple Assassin's Trophies post board. And I gained all, this from the last match. Yeah, this hand just sucks. Like, these hands are just garbage. I can't even, like what am I going to do? Play the 4-mana card? Play the 6-mana? Like, these hands are just terrible. Alright, finally something that's somewhat keepable. I lost, by the way. We're dead. I don't have to get rid, I just have to get rid of 3. Cool. Yeah, I lost. It's over. I'm just, honestly, I should just concede. Like, none of those hands were keepable. Like, I'm not very particular, but when my hand is like mono 6-drop, like, I'm not gonna fucking keep that. Like, you literally can't keep that. You will lose. I wasn't even that seriously looking for a ley line, because they're not gonna thought distortion me till 6. So Narset can find one, and I can just cast it. But like, I didn't feel like any of those hands were keepable. They have counter magic post board too, so yeah, it's basically Sultai mid range, but with I don't even want to play Narset because I don't want to hit lands with her. I should revisit this deck. I played Sultai Control with Uro, and then I played the typical Sultai ramp mid-rangey type deck. So I kind of want to revisit it. I quit playing Magic in total for about a month and a half after Uro got banned because I thought it was complete bullshit. And yeah, I just haven't gone back to Sultai yet. I'm gonna try it out at some point. And Bant, because I think Abundant Harvest is really good. So I want to play like a green X control deck. Alright, we're not drawing lands. I had to mull to 4. I mean, I'm gonna hit a bunch of lands off Narset here. Yeah, what did I fucking say? Alright, I'm conceding. I'm not winning from this position at all. We're just dead. I'm actually gonna cut these and bring in 2 vetoes. Mystical Dispute. If this was a 60 card deck, I would bring it in. But because it's 80 and it's not great going long because they're a ramp deck, I'm just not gonna bother with it. 2 lands. Neither of them come into play untapped. I can't even hold up my counter spell, and I have a Teferi and an Elspeth Conquers Death and a fucking Shark Typhoon. 2 shitty lands, but I have the ley line. Alright. Fuck it. I'm on the play. Or the draw. Yeah, the play. Bottom that. Yeah, I don't know. This deck needs more lands. Percentage-wise, we're playing, like, if we played a 60-card deck and played 24 lands, we would have a higher percentage of drawing lands than we do in this deck, which has 35 if you count the other thing, the spell land. Because it's, like, for an 80-card deck to be on parity with a 60-card 24-land deck, you need 36 lands. And then it's the same ratio. So I have 35 lands. 34 lands. What the fuck? 34 lands and then 1 spell land. So the deck could probably be playing 36 lands and a couple of spell lands. So that's a change I would make. And then we need to shave off that 81st card. Also, even though it's 80 cards, I feel like the top end is just too heavy. Like, you just get fucking bulldozed. If you draw those in your opening hand and you have them all, it feels so fucking terrible. So those need to go, I think. Like the Dream Trawlers, the Elspeth Conquers Death is almost garbage, like just useless. Because we have so much good stuff. I don't care if my opponent kills a thing or two. And then on top of that, there's so many aggro decks. Like Elspeth Sun's Champion doesn't even hit some of the best. I mean, she hits the best 3 drops, but there's a ton of aggro cards she doesn't hit. And do you really want to be killing an aggro creature on turn 5, like a 3 drop on turn 5? That's really bad. So that's my problem. We definitely need more lands because look at this. Like, we're just not drawing lands. This deck's fucking annoying, I'm not gonna lie. Especially when I have the mull and I'm not drawing my lands. If I was drawing my lands, it would be alright. But, yeah, Nissa, we're dead. We're just dead. Yep, dead. What's funny is that Sultai Uro used to be my best matchup with blue-white. Like, that's the only reason I played blue-white before Mystic Archive and everything. Like, it had a really good Sultai matchup. Alright, round, well, technically 4. I don't count those first 2. The deck was fine. We just got punked out by Thought Distortion in the first 2 matches that I started out recording. I went about an hour, and it was just fucking brutal. Because the deck tech overview, whatever, was like 15 minutes, and the matches happened. Again, like 3 lands, but they're not great. I'm gonna keep it because I've gotten punished with the mulligan, so I might as well just. Oh, it's a Luris deck. It's probably rogues. Yeah, it's rogues. All right. Yeah. I'm so sick of cards that do each opponent. Like, fuck off with Commander. I don't care if Commander is the most popular format. It's shit. Stop making cards that work for fucking Commander. Focus on the 1v1 aspect of your goddamn game, please. Alright, I'm fine with those getting milled. I really did not want to draw a Dream Trawler. I almost never want to draw a Dream Trawler, to be honest. I don't want to draw that either. This is what I'm saying. Like, Elspeth Conquers Death is a horrible card. Like, in so many matchups, it's just, it doesn't do anything. Or it does it at an incredibly overpriced rate. It's just not good. And then if your opponent can interact with it in any way, then you just kind of like lose. Like you just spent 5 mana to maybe kill a thing, like a relevant thing, or you'll die with it in your hand. So Elspeth Conquers Death is a terrible magic card and needs to go. That's like the first thing. And Vroom told me in a comment that I saw before I started to be critical, I guess. So, like Elspeth, this card, because I've played 3 matches already. This card has been horrible in every single match. To me, it's just not a good card. I'm gonna put that down. I'm not worried about being milled out. I'm worried about not hitting lands and just being beaten to death. So, yeah. And this is another reason I don't like Yorion decks. Is unless you're playing a lot of ramp spells and you're doing that kind of shit, you really feel having the extra 20 cards. Like, when you need sideboard cards, like, it's so bad to have an extra 20 cards in your deck. And even sideboarding is just, like, because you have so many cards in some matchups that are just not good. So, and again, I will say that that could be my inexperience with playing these types of decks. I didn't tweak his list too much. I cut the brainstorms for more Behold the Multiverse, and I literally couldn't do the Authority of the Consoles seal away package that he had because I don't have Authority of the Consoles. So, I mean, that could be my problem with building the deck. But it definitely needs more lands. Like, I'll say that straight away. It needs more lands. Like, after this match, I'm going to go and put 36 lands in, and then I'll still play the spell land. Oh, we're just going to play more lands. Elspeth Conquers Death is gonna go. The card it's not a good card. It's dead and like in against rogues it's completely dead. Against Gruul aggro it's mostly dead. Against like there's just so many decks where it's just a dead card or not a good card. So I really don't like Cast Out is better 99% of the time. And it's an instant speed card. Like even if Elspeth Conquers Death was instant, like a flash enchantment, it's still not a good magic card. I don't even think it's good in standard, and it's not good in this format. So that's gonna go for 2 more lands. Probably just basics. Try to get the tempo play on them. There's still enough stuff in the deck that we can take over. Like I said, I'm not worried about being milled out at all. That's one nice thing about the Yorion decks. They're not gonna mill me. It's almost not gonna happen. They're gonna kill me with aggro. That's fucking annoying. Alright, I wanted that search for Escanta. Losing the second Dream Trawler does kind of suck. I was hoping it would be further in, so I'd have a way to kill them. But yeah, another thing with the Yorion decks, like I said, if you're not doing the ramp plan, you're just really soft to aggressive decks like this. Even with all the extra removal. Because like you can't play enough stuff to make up for the fact that you're playing 20 extra cards. That's like my experience playing Yorion, which has been very scarce. I played Sultai Yorion in Historic. I tried Sultai Bant. Not Sultai Bant. Yorion Bant. And then in Modern, when Companions came out, I played Yorion Bant Snow. And I cut, like, even before the nerf, I went back to 60 because I didn't like the deck. Like, when it was good, it was amazing. But it was oftentimes not very good. And another thing with this deck is that it's not doing anything that utilizes Yorion. I think if you want to play Yorion in straight blue-white, you need to have a bunch of enchantments, and you need to be more committed to being like a tap-out style deck. I don't think a more reactive strategy works very well with Yorion. It's like it wants you to be proactive. Like if you look at Modern, there is a player who plays Yorion, but it's a blue-white mid-range deck, and he does fairly well with it. Like you want that type of strategy. So I think Bant Yorion with like Knight of Autumn and stuff like that, like the annoying humans in green white, but like it's still controlling because you have interaction. It's just you're shifting the way you control the game, and I think that has potential to be a really solid Yorion deck. But just like blue white control with Yorion, I don't think is particularly good. Glacial Fortress, yes. Blue. Do I want Blue Sun Zenith? Not right now. Well, not right now. No, not right now. I'm gonna try to get this off. I'm almost pretty close to dead, huh? Yeah, I'm probably... They have a lot of removal. Again, Shark Typhoon being awful. This is why I don't play this card. People always get on me to play this card, and it's just so bad against 90% of the field. It's only good against control. There's nothing against Vroom. Like, everybody plays the card. It's just not good. Like, I cycle my Shark to kill the Rogue, and then it dies, and then I lose. It's like why am I playing this card? It's not a good card. Yeah, we're basically dead because I'm gonna lose my Wrath. Yep. Now Rest in Peace is pretty good against rogues, but will I be able to draw Rest in Peace without mulliganing to Oblivion? That's the question. I don't know the answer. We're gonna find out because I lose the match. He doesn't have blue. He has 1 blue mana up. If this is a Drown on the Lock, which it probably is. All right, he didn't have it. All right. I'm still gonna hold on to this. I think this card sucks, but I want to try to use it, and I don't really like. I can't even play it, so it's not like I could have held up my Absorb. Yeah, I just lose. Actually, we're dead. All right, so that's another. Like I said, like it's just bad against these decks. You don't have to worry about being milled out at all. but you'll be beaten to death before you can really do anything. This card is just terrible. I'm cutting this card. Bring in these, and I'll cut it to Fairy. Dream Trawler. If you can drop Dream Trawler against them, if you can get it under their counter magic, it will win the game. Straight up. I beat Rogues in Standard with Dream Trawler. Like, they can't answer it once it hits the table. The problem is getting it to hit the table. That's the problem. Honestly, I think annoying decks like this is why Little Teferi would be fine. Because Control, like I said, doesn't really have a whole lot going for it. Like, it got better. Definitely. Like, it got to the point where I'm playing Historic pretty regularly now. And it's actually become my favorite format. Before, I felt like Control decks were just completely unplayable. But the problem is, everything else got better. So, I think Little Teferi should be unbanned. And Counterspell and Swords to Plowshare should be unbanned. At least Counterspell and Swords. Like, maybe you can make an argument that Little Teferi's unfun. Personally, I don't give a fuck if he's unfun. I think all of Rogues is unfun. Thought Distortion is unfun. Tainted Pack combo is unfun. Like, you see where I'm going with this. There's so much unfun shit in Magic, and the only time anything gets banned is when it's from a control deck. Like, Uro was unfun, and Mystic Sanctuary was unfun, and Little Teferi was unfun, and Counterspell and Swords to Plowshares are unfun, so they're banned. Like, I'm sorry, but all the other shit to me is incredibly unfun, agonizingly so, but it's allowed to exist. It's not fair. Like, Control gets fucked over pretty regularly because people don't like it. Well, I don't fucking like Thought Distortion, Thoughtseize, Inquisition of Kozilek, Rogues, or any of the shit that's allowed to fly. The most I bitch about it, but I also just adapt to it. But like, people are unwilling to do that when it's a control deck. I'm gonna hold off on this. I don't want to use this yet. This is a matchup where I don't want them drawing cards. But I feel like the upside of this card is just so much higher than Baffling End that it's wrong not to play it. And I've played with Baffling End. I haven't really liked it. I like this a lot more. Like I said, the drawback is almost negligible most of the time. There are a couple of matchups where you really would rather not let your opponent draw a card. But by and large, it's not really a big enough drawback to warrant. He's probably got a Mystical Dispute. No? Alright. Like, what my thought was, counter it, and then on my turn, when they're hopefully tapped out, they never tap out, but Dream Scenario, I hit both of them with these. They're very threat light. Since Mystic Archive, they've cut the crab, so it's just this, the other one, and then the little merfolk dude. Like, that's their card draw. I mean, their threats. Wow. So the mill plan isn't even like the main way they kill you anymore. And against Yorion, it arguably never was. Like, I don't care that this is milling my cards. If it hits a bunch of lands, I'm a little pissed off. But like, for the most part, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna try to cast it out at the end of his turn. Yeah, like, see, like, those cards, milling that didn't matter. Memory Lapse is horrible against them. It's like the one matchup where Memory Lapse just sucks. Because they have so much card draw. Like, it just doesn't matter. And all their shit's really, really cheap. And they actually have benefits from playing stuff over again. If they have the Thieves Guild, whatever the hell her name is, that chick. That card, like, they want to play Rogues, so. Alright. This sucks. I'm going to get rid of it now. The aggro plan is, like, real. Especially if they drop another Rogue. Yeah, this deck needs more lands. Like, getting screwed over on mana like this is just awful. And I know I usually get screwed on mana, but this just feels really, really bad. Because this deck has a lot of expensive shit. Yeah. They'll take Narset or Absorb. Probably Narset shuts off, what you call it, into the story. Do I risk playing my Teferi? Probably, because I'm not fucking doing anything else, right? I could draw and then hold up Absorb. I actually kind of like that more. Because I really need to hit my lands, and if Teferi gets countered, I don't draw anything. If this gets countered, I can bait 2 counter spells if they don't want me to draw cards. They don't care? Cool. I need mana. That's mana. Absorb. Counter spells aren't even that good because they generally have cheaper counter spells. I really wish this was an instant speed card. That would be sick. Alright, I don't have anything else to do. I'm going to jam Teferi. I have 2 Teferis. I have the Dream Trawler. I need to get something going. Just sitting here doesn't really help me. Holding 1 counter spell and not doing anything. Like, it kind of doesn't matter. Ah, fuck that card. Yeah, like, Rest in Peace shuts them off so bad that they'll just scoop to Rest in Peace. Like, they literally can't beat it. And not being able to draw that, just, like, the 80 cards, like, you feel it, like I said. If you're not playing one of the ramp decks, you really feel it. Or, like, a deck that's just, like I said, that hypothetical Bant Humans type deck. I think there's some definite, like, not humans, but Bant, Yorion, Taxes, Death and Taxes. I think that's actually a real deck in the format if somebody wanted to build it. I have some of the cards, they look like, I have a lot of the white cards. I have a playset of the Spirit Binders or Spell Binders. I have a playset of the Archon. I might honestly give it a shot. I need like Meddling Mage, stuff like that. I might go for it because I do think there is some merit in trying that out. And just playing like a bunch of Yorions, like you have a companion and then play 2 or 3 in the main as well. I definitely think there's some potential there. I'm relatively okay with this. Like it's denying me draws, which sucks. But their deck has a lot of air in it too. So I don't know. If I just need to stick one threat, and I'm all right. So like them trying to like buy time with memory lapse is kind of whatever. I'm probably still gonna lose this game though. Like they have everything going for them. They have like a bunch of cards. But yeah, they're pretty threat light. They have like the 12 creatures, like I said. So Thoughtseize by Dream Trawler, that sucks. I was hoping to be able to stick this. So it's on Fairy's shoulders now. And he's good enough to get it done. Ow. Ow. Mm. So we're on the Luris, huh? I do think Luris is more broken than Uro, by the way. It has no deck building restriction. Mana value 2 or less. This is not a restriction. Um, aggro decks exist, and then you just Luris. Bam. Like, and Yorion doesn't have a restriction either. And these two companions are why the companion mechanic got nerfed, in my opinion. Because the other ones, aside from Obosh, didn't do jack shit anywhere. And like Obosh, unlike these two, actually has an interesting deck restriction. Okay, Yorion, to be fair, playing an extra 20 cards in a normal control deck is almost a death sentence against half the field. But nobody plays Yorion in normal control decks. They play ramp decks, and Yurion's fantastic there. So, like, yeah. These two cards don't really have restrictions. The other companions all have, like, actual deck building restrictions. Lurrus is easily the strongest and the one with the least amount of restrictions. Because, like, in practice, if you're playing a normal deck, playing an extra 20 cards is brutal. And I feel like we're kind of seeing that in a lot of these matches. Especially this one. So, yeah. But, like, Obosh is more interesting than Lurrus because you can't play even numbered cards. There's a lot of really good even numbered red cards that you would want to play, but you can't with Obosh. So you're actually sacrificing something, and you're having to play with worse cards to accommodate him. So that's interesting. And then Lutri, you can only have one copy of any non-land card in your deck. That's nuts. And then you had the big walrus-looking dude, and then you had the plant thing, and then what else was there? I don't even remember. That's how irrelevant the other companions were. The reason this mechanic got nerfed was these two. Chiefly Lurrus, and then Yorion. Yurion's always been second to Lurrus. Lurrus does not have a real deck building restriction. Alright, so we've brutally lost to Rogues because we drew all of our expensive shit, got screwed on mana for like 4 turns, and just couldn't do anything. I don't think Rogues is, like, it's already a bad matchup, right? It's not a horrible matchup. Rest in Peace does shut them off. Like, I beat Rogues yesterday with Jeskai pretty effortlessly just by slamming Rest in Peace. Like, literally couldn't beat it. So, yeah, like, if I could have just stuck a Rest in Peace at any point in time, it would have been so good because, okay, they didn't hit me with Drown in the Lock, but last game they did. Like, Into the Story wouldn't have worked. They didn't have anything going on before that. Yeah, it's just rough. Playing a normal control deck with an extra 20 cards is brutal. Playing a ramp deck with 20 extra cards is, like, totally fine. You don't care. You just rip out all the lands. You want lands anyway. There's so many good ramp effects in the format. Like, why not? And then you have, like, Emergent Ultimatum if you want to go Sultai. So, realistically, yeah. Like, it's just not... It's not good playing Yorion in a blue-white deck. That's been my... Because I played Yorion blue-white for a minute in Standard when I was trying to find a Standard deck. We're dead now. And it just didn't work. Like, it was terrible. I don't like Yorion. Like, you really feel the extra 20 cards. So, because... Well, I didn't record... Alright, I'll keep playing. Like I said, the other video that I was recording before I got so ridiculously tilted, I said some shit that I didn't mean, but I shouldn't have fucking said. So I scrapped that. That was an hour. I'm at the 40-minute mark roughly now. So we're going to make some tweaks and then run it back. We're going to play some more. 36 lands, first of all. You've got to have more lands in this. Like, that was the biggest thing, just not having lands. Dream Trawler, it's almost unplayable in the format. Shark Typhoon is a terrible main deck card. I don't like it at all. It's too damn slow, and every deck can kill it. But the Dream Trawlers definitely have to go. They're too slow. They are definitely too slow. I'm gonna cut this. I'll be fair. People have criticized me playing this card, so we're gonna cut that, and I will play Baffling End. like I said, I cannot do Vrooms seal away with authority of the consoles. I don't have authority, and I don't have the rare cards for it. So I'm not doing that. We're gonna play Baffling In though. Like I said, Declaration of Stone. Everybody tells me it's terrible, so I'll play the Baffling Ends. We'll be fair. What else? I've added the fourth there. So we have 36 lands. We have the Seagate Restoration still. Yeah. I don't like this card. I'm sorry. I think this card is terrible. What else? I need 3 cards. Maybe I will just go with the Shark Typhoon. That's another thing I get criticized for not playing. Everybody tells me you need to play Shark Typhoon. Not everybody. Like, I'm not whining. I'm just saying that I vehemently disagree that this is a main deckable card. This card is incredibly overrated, in my opinion. So, I don't like it. But I will play it here. So, yeah, Vroom, more lands. We got 36 now, and then once you get Restoration. Elspeth Conquers Death is horrible against the field on the whole. It's just not good. And Dream Trawler is too slow. That's the main thing. The sideboard was fine. I'm playing these because I'm just so sick of Thought Distortion. So, yeah. Like, I don't expect anybody to actually do this or take this seriously. I'm that sick of Thought Distortion that I'm just playing these from now on. And, I mean, that's just how it's going to be. I wasn't done with that. Why did I click off? All right. So, yeah. This list is a little cheaper. We have more mana. We cap out at Teferi. I really wish they would put Elspeth Sun's Champion in the format, because that would just be a really nice closer for blue-white control. As opposed to Shark Typhoon, which just dies to everything and is only good in the control mirror. Do we have... There's lands, spell lands in white, right? Like, decent ones. Amaria's Call, create 2 4/4 white angel creature tokens with flying. Never mind. Undo Inversion, destroy all non-land permanents. Yeah, you know, that's not bad either. I still want Doomscar. I'm going to play an Undo Inversion. I would much rather have a 6-mana or an 8-mana board wipe that's also a land than have a garbage card draw spell. And I'm not trying to be, like, mean or anything. That card is just not... It's not a good card. I know a lot of people play it. It's just not... It's not good. Like, it hardly sees play in Standard anymore. Last time I checked. It's just not... Like, you can't play it in the format. The format's too fast for that. This, at the very least, like, does something to impact the board. If you're spending 7 mana to draw, what, maybe 4 cards by the time you actually get to cast it, like, sorcery speed, that's a horrible rate. At least into the story without having any cards in your opponent's graveyard and costing 7 mana is an instant. This can at least just be like an extra board wipe. So the fact that it comes into play tapped doesn't matter that much, because how often do you really want to bolt yourself to get a blue mana? Very rarely, if ever, in a deck with a bunch of like 36 lands now instead of 34. And I've also slashed the 81st card because like there's no reason to play 81. And like I said, sideboard, it felt fine. The problem with these decks is that you have a really hard time getting your sideboard cards. That's why there's 4 Narsets now. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and play a couple matches with this and see how that goes. So let's get this going. And I still think Brainstorm is not what you want to be doing in this deck. Mirror. I mean, no, it's not auras because there's no Oh fuck. Jeskai. I don't know. They're doing like full blown combo shit now with Velumakis and all that good shit. So I don't know how this matchup's gonna go. It's definitely trickier than it was. Like the Gear Hulk thing was, once you realize what they were doing, it wasn't that big of a deal. But like when my opponent played Velumakis against me last night, I was just like, what the fuck? And then I like gave him the nice emoji a bunch because the deck was cool. It was like a combo deck that was a control deck that didn't do anything like insane, like throw fucking thought distortion at me. It was just a cool deck, so I enjoyed playing against that. Even though I ended up conceding because like I played it and then I played against the green white deck and that took like 45 minutes with Jeskai, but I got there and then I queued into the same guy I just played with the Velumakis deck, and he got me game one, and I was so tired, I just conceded. So yeah, but the deck seemed pretty cool. I was a fan. All right, Castle Ardenvale. This is how we win. If you've watched any of my videos, non-white control videos, you know I don't play this in the 3-color versions because it's too much of a liability. And you know how bad my 3-color decks are against this card. So this is how we win. Unless I have to counter something that's going to kill me on the spot, I'm making a token, and we're just going to attack. Oh, my hand's pretty good for a control mirror. Not going to lie. Alright, I don't know why this is a thing. But alright, we got Gideon of the Trials. This card wasn't good in Standard. I don't think you should play that card at all, ever. It's not good. I guess he's alright in the 9 lives prison type of deck. I'm gonna remand my search for Escanta. Not well, I guess it's like a remand. Like my opponent's gonna play Gideon, and I'm not going to care very much. Yeah, because I have the Shark Typhoon. If I want to like hit it, like I don't care. Life total's a resource. I don't. It doesn't matter. That doesn't stop. That's not how that works. I really want to get this down. For one thing, with these Jeskai decks, I'm never really sure what they're doing early on. So it's like, do I just like sit here and do nothing, or do I just be proactive? When my hand is pretty decent. So I think I liked being proactive. But I've seen like 3 different Jeskai decks right now. So I've seen like traditional Jeskai, Jeskai Opus with Gear Hulks, Jeskai Velumakis combo stuff. It's like, I'm not gonna. Like game 1, I'm just gonna like fucking play and try to leverage my Search for Escanta and my Shark Typhoon. Because Jeskai does have legitimate trouble killing a big shark. So I can make a 4/4. It's not the biggest, but they do need 2 burn spells to kill it. There's no decent instant speed white removal. And I can start making tokens if I wanted to. Narset, yeah, because I'm still going to draw off of this. Alright, so I can safely assume that this deck is not doing the Torrential Gear Hulk Velumakis stuff. It's just a Jeskai Planeswalkers deck, which is fine. I feel like you should probably play Chandra, Torch of Defiance. But, I said this card was shit, and I think it might be. But maybe in my blue-white decks, this would help me against other control decks. Because like I said, I don't really build for that matchup. And it has been tough with my blue-white to beat other control decks. Or not blue-white. My other... Yeah, never mind. The 3-color ones. I don't know what I'm talking about. It's too much Yorion pile. All the cards, it just fries my brain. Yep. Transform that. What am I killing first? Probably this guy. Because my life total is actually under threat. And then on their turn, I'm going to cast out on his upkeep. Cast out backed with absorb to hit Teferi. So now he's got to spend all of his mana if he has another counter spell. No, I get to get rid of Teferi. That's pretty good. And I have a search for his content now. So it should be going pretty well for me. Like a Narset activation versus a giant shark and an active search with a fuck ton of mana and a castle. I like my odds. Fuck. I don't know why people play that one. The artwork is completely inferior to Chris Rallis's Teferi. Like that's so fucking good. The background, the way the colors all work together, it just looks fucking great. And then there's that clearly like blob of CGI just sitting there by a tree in some bumfuck desert. It's just I don't like it. Oh look, Teferi. There's no way in hell I'm tucking my Teferi. I know I can't draw because of Narset, but if I tuck my Teferi and I get hit with a bolt, that's gonna suck a lot. Really badly. I need to leverage my castle. I am arguably playing this badly because I kind of always write off game one against control decks. None of my decks line up well against control. I don't build for that matchup in mind, and I just kind of accept the fact that I'm going to lose game one. Basically, that's how I do it. And then I go into the sideboard, and that's usually when I beat them. So, I mean, it is what it is. I think the main problem with control decks in this format is that people build too much with like trying to have an even matchup against a bunch of different things. Like this is not good against 90% of the field. It's just not. Like it's only good here. When you have Shark Typhoon against control decks, you're like, yes, I got my Shark Typhoons first. And the control matchup does usually come down to who gets these first. But against everything else, like it just dies on the spot. It doesn't do anything. Like you wasted a bunch of mana to have your thing fatal pushed or eliminated or whatever removal spell that flies around the format. And it's so slow. This format is so fast right now with all the aggro decks. Like this card does fucking nothing 90% of the time. It just dies. Like that's all it does. So yeah, I don't like it. But I mean it's beating me right now. So if you want to beat control decks without card advantage, like if you just want to have a gotcha to control, there you go. Like that's all it's good for. Yeah. All right. We're pretty thoroughly dead. Oh, my fucking roommate got back. So if it gets loud, that's why. I don't even think sideboarding matters because we just have too many cards. I'm gonna bring in 2 Baffling End for Shark tokens. I'd rather have this than the Wrath, and I don't only hit the creature. Shit. Like Journey to Nowhere at the very least needs to be in the format. First. Yeah, it looks keepable. I might want that, honestly. And because my other 3 lands come to play untapped, I will lean on it. They don't do anything on turn 2. Do not hesitate to dump a Teferi with search early on. Ah, fuck. I gotta, yeah. Gotta hit the land drops. Narset's good enough. I want to hold on to her. Do you want to fight over that brainstorm? I have so few mystical disputes. I have 3 in the 67 cards. I want to leverage it while I can, when I can. And this seems good enough to fight over. Or, to engage with. Because I have, like, a Dovin's Veto. He paid 3 mana to brainstorm. Can I? Alright. Fine. Go ahead. A 3 mana Planeswalker right now is so bad for me, I'm just gonna let that happen. We're even on Teferi mana now, so yeah. Maybe trying to counter the brainstorm wasn't great. But he did pay for it, so his hand's probably terrible. I think I want to counter. I thought about leaving her on 5, but I really needed a card. Wanted a card. Alright, they're just going to play their own. That's alright. Because I don't have Brainstorm in my deck. Oh, fuck. No, it doesn't matter. God damn it. I get to play Teferi. This is tough. Because if they have a burn spell, that sucks. If they have 2 burn spells, it still sucks. I'm going to go ahead and... Yeah, I'll do it. That's probably horrible. I'm really leaning on this Search for Risconta. Being constrained on mana so much just sucks. Like, it's really bad. 6. I'm going to go ahead and bin that. I would much rather get my 6 land drop and then get this going than I would scrying and drawing right now. Alright. If I spend 4 mana, I'll get 2 back. I only have 1 counterspell then. I will put Yorion in hand, though. That'll give me double counterspell. So that's what I'm going to do. That fucking sucks. I honestly hate that this card was printed. Because it doesn't address any issues that Control had. All it does is, like, it's a race in the Control mirror to get to these first. And then against every other matchup, it just dies to any removal spell. Except the Bolt. That's the only... Every other removal spell is just a 1-for-1, and then it just dies. It's a borderline useless card. It's a sideboard card at the absolute best. So, yeah. But I always get fucked over by it in these matchups. Not always. But when I do lose the control matchups, it's usually because Shark Typhoon did shark things. Alright, Yorion is the great hope. Alright. Nothing to submit. We have a counter spell up. Yorion can block your shark because Yorion's got a big ass. That's good. I like Yorion. He's cool. But I don't like the decks that he's in. I don't like playing these 80 card decks. Yeah, like unless you're doing a bunch of ramp, like I said, 80 cards is a drawback for normal control. It's a drawback with an asterisk. If you're trying to play a normal deck, it's really bad. If you're playing a ramp deck, it's really good. So, and apparently it's good in Death and Taxes of all fucking things. Like in Modern, no less. So decks like that's where Yurion's really good, and the deck building restriction isn't a restriction. So yeah. All right, now I have mine. I'm scared shitless to just hardcast it. I think I will lose if I do that. So I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. If he has a counter spell, then I lose it. He doesn't have enough burn spells to kill my shark token. This can still block, so it just doesn't deal any damage. All right. Oh, double? All right. All right. All right. We're going to cycle at end of turn and make a giant ass shark. How giant? 5, 7. We're going to make a 7/7 at the end of his turn. And then we're going to roll that into another 7/7. And then we win. So the mirror is all about the Shark Typhoon. All about the Shark Typhoon. That doesn't matter. I mean, it kind of does, but it kind of doesn't because they're not going to have an answer for the shark. Even if they get a Shark Typhoon off this, their next shark would only be a 6/6. Mine's going to be a 7/7. So, commit. That answers a shark, I guess. That fucking sucks. I wonder if he'd burn the commit now. Now he's going to hit the shark token and then blast me with this next turn and we lose. Another reason, like, this shark is just not good. Like, look at this. Like, goddamn, dude. Dudes. People who tell me that Shark Typhoon deserves to be in the main deck. Yeah, it doesn't. At all. He's tapped out. I'm going to hardcast it. I'm that desperate that we're hardcasting a Shark Typhoon. And yeah, I do think people hardcast this way too often. And I get to hold up a search activation. I'm just going to counter this. And I make a 2/2. That's a nasty fucking combo, though. I'm not even going to pretend otherwise. That is brutal. Oh, look at that. Where the hell were you? Oh, buried underneath the pile of Yorion stuff. Yeah. Alright. Well, they're tapped out at least. So I can play Narset, make another shark, get maybe a Teferi, make another shark. That's fucking perfect, man. We're going to start with Teferi first so I can pay for a Mystical Dispute because it's the only counterspell they have up. And despite being comboed, it looks like we're going to win. That's honestly fine. I don't even care. I'm ticking up so I draw a card or untap lands. I'm not going to bother tucking anything here. You attack. Does he do anything? Not really. Oh, I'm fucking dumb. Alright, got a search activation, got a mystical dispute. Not that that's super relevant, but yeah, sure. I still have Yorion. He can't beat Yorion. This is kind of the weakness of Jeskai when you're not doing the Opus bullshit. You just get bullied by like big things pretty easily. And I will just counter anything to make another 3/3. It doesn't even fucking matter. Yeah, like we're gonna put that off. Make a 3/3. He kind of has to. I don't know if he'll tuck to fairy, but despite having all of the cards and all of the planeswalkers, he's not in a very good position. I think he's considering whether or not to tuck a shark or to fairy. Yeah, shark. Did he just hit the little one? Why? Alright, killed my Narset. Didn't matter that much. What do I want to do here? I think I need to consider tucking the shark. Yep. Now I kill all of his stuff. Yorion's gonna attack him. Gonna kill... I want to kill everything. Who do I want to kill most? You know what? I'm gonna make sure I kill Teferi. I don't care about Gideon. Gideon doesn't fucking do anything. Why didn't Narset die? Didn't I attack? Oh, no damage. Yeah, alright, my bad. I'll cancel this. Well, look at who's fucking got another Shark Typhoon. What did I tell you? It's all about the Shark Typhoons in the mirror match. It's the only matchup this card's good in. Yeah, same shit. Even though we got Wombo comboed, it didn't matter. And it kind of goes back to what I said earlier, or in my last video. Not the last video, but the previous recording. Like, card advantage is important to an extent, but what mostly matters is having the right cards. The only exception is against BGX decks. You will literally beat them by drawing a shit ton of cards, because all your stuff's good against them. But the control mirror is not just about card advantage. It is about the right cards. My opponent had way more cards than me, but it didn't matter because I had the right combination of cards. I had the Shark Typhoons. Like that's all that mattered. Also, his removal couldn't kill my Yorion. And keeping Yorion alive definitely helped. Like, it didn't do anything actively, it just sat there as like a roadblock. We're gonna hit that because I have a veto for anything important. And he's behind a lot. This is why I don't like playing a lot of basics in 3-color decks. You will just fucking screw yourself over pretty easily. He doesn't have any blue mana. This is getting memory lapsed again. And we're gonna win bigly. Not only do I have 3 counter spells, I have this, I have the Narset. It's game over. We just dumpstered this poor bastard. Not gonna down tick. No, will not die to bolt here. You can have that first one. That's fine. The next one's getting countered. Just to delay this, or keep this beating going, basically. I will play that in Scry. Bottom my land, and there's a pass. I probably won't even use a veto because they only have one blue mana. I don't know what exactly they would do with it. Yeah, why not? Let's go full asshole mode. Bam. Blue. Lots of blue. Any threatening thing that they would play, they're only going to have 2 blue at best, so I just absorb that. Now we have the Wombo combo. And opponent knows what's coming. Do I go for it? If I had another mana, I absolutely would go for it. But I don't. And because I still have 2 counter spells to his 1 blue mana, I'm just going to wait. We're good here. I don't need to do anything. This will probably bait the commit. I'm good with that. Now I get to do the thing with the counter. Doesn't matter. Yep. So he's gonna counter this, and then oh fuck you, opponent. Why wasn't I playing around veto? That was bad. I should have played around veto by not playing into that. All right, yeah, that was bad. Yeah, I got a little cocky there, a little overconfident. Still have the Shark Typhoon, and he's still mana screwed. So yeah, we still win. We just don't win as spectacularly. Yeah, I'll leave that. End of turn, giant shark, game's over. I should have just gone for the giant shark, honestly. I guess they have the commit. Oh, they have a shark. Yeah. Alright, he's gonna hit my Narset. I still have 2 counter spells, and if I lose this game, I'm gonna laugh a lot at myself. Definitely. Alright, how much do I want to put into this? 4. That way I get to absorb his commit because I'm gonna kill this and he won't be able to do anything. Fuck me. They always fucking have Mystical Dispute. God fucking damn it. I don't even fucking care about a 2-mana shark. Fuck it. I'll draw. I've probably pissed this game away, honestly. I'm not even gonna lie. I pressed the advantage a little too much, and that bit me pretty hard. Mm-hmm. Perfect. Four, three. Oh, you know what? Like 3, 6, 7. I'm just gonna draw 7 cards. And then Zafari's gonna untap 2 lands. Like a boss. Yep. And that's why we countered the counter spell that was countering my Behold the Multiverse. Just to fire off a big ass Blue Sun Zenith. Alright, so we win in the control mirror. It's an hour and 15. I'm gonna wrap it there, Vroom. If like when you watch it, I think we lost 2 matches this recording, and I know we lost 2 matches in my first recording. So 1 and 4 with his deck. If you want to see me play it with Brainstorm, I will play it again with Brainstorm. But I can't. The only thing I can't do, like I said, is the Authority of the Consoles with the sealaways. So if you want me to play it exactly as you posted it, minus the 1 card, I will do it again. But I really think that Elspeth Conquers Death is a terrible Magic card, and Dream Trawler is simply too expensive for the format. So, I mean, everyone knows I don't like Shark Typhoon, but in an 80 card deck, I'm willing to acknowledge that you save sideboard spaces and you just play it in the main, and that's fine. You definitely need 36 lands, at least. The mana felt much better that game. That was the game, like I queued into that after fixing the mana. So just adding a couple more lands definitely felt correct. I would say 36, possibly even 38 lands. And those could be in the form of spell lands. It's about 36 physical lands, and then, like I said, maybe bump it up to 38 or 39 with a couple of spell lands. I replaced the other one with Ondu. The Seagate Restoration. Seagate Restoration is bad, I think. It's just terrible. Blue Sun Zenith is much better if you want a big card draw spell. And if you want another land, cut something else. Like, that card's just not good. It's not even a good land because you have to bolt yourself, otherwise it comes into play tapped. I would much rather play Ondu Inversion, which has the upside of being an overcosted planar cleansing. But yeah, other than that, Yorion decks are not my preferred way to play. I've never done well with them. So take this with a bit of salt because it's like I'm not that good at it. Like companions in general. Like I played a modern league with Loris Rock, and I forgot that I had Luris just sitting there. So I'm not good with companions. I don't play them very often. I don't really like them that much. I think the mechanic was cool at first, but like after playing against a wide field, like not just playing against my friend who played Luris Jun, I really started to dislike the mechanic. So yeah, Yurion's not my cup of tea either. I think that there's real disadvantages in a normal control deck playing 80 cards. If you want to play like a ramp deck, that's a different story because you have a ton of ramp spells. There's a ton of good ramp cards, and I think that could really work. Or if you wanted to play like a Death and Taxes deck, there's a bunch of good cards for that, and you could just load up on like really good proactive shit. And I think that is where Yorion belongs. I don't think Yorion belongs in these reactive control style decks. So yeah, and like the only reason we won that match, I mean, game 2 was pretty tight. Game 3, I got a little bit overzealous and pressed my advantage too much, and our mana screwed opponent almost came back and won. So yeah, like it's just I don't know. I don't think this is the right deck for Yorion personally. I think he needs to be in more proactive strategies. So yeah, but like I said, if you want to see the deck played again, exactly as you had it, I'll do that. I don't mind doing that. It's not a problem. The only thing I can't do, like I said, is the Authority of the Consoles because I don't have it, and I don't want to spend the 1 rare card that I have making one, and I don't want to buy packs to make it because I know I'm not going to play it any other time. So that's like the only thing. But yeah, that's my opinion of the deck. Yorion, not great in traditional control. Elspeth Conquers Death is a terrible card, and the deck needed more lands. Brainstorm, that's personal opinion. I thought it would be bad, but the multiverse didn't feel great either. So Like, I mean, that's how, whatever. But definitely play more lands. So, yep, that's it for the video. I'm probably going to play some more Jeskai or the other blue-white deck. So, that'll be the next video. Maybe Esper, I'm not sure. But we'll see. Oh, there was something else I was going to say. But I don't remember what it was. Oh, yeah, sideboard. Um, I'm literally playing this card because I hate Thought Distortion. Don't give me shit over this. Like, yeah, I'm playing it because I got super fucking annoyed. So, yeah. I'm not saying you had to play this. I'm not saying it's correct to play this. I am playing this because of one horribly designed card that shouldn't exist that tilts me to no fucking end every time I see it. So that's all. Have a good one. And I will see you in the next one.